Thank you all again. Hard to believe. Back at it, 19 years. Another media day. Really excited about this group. We've been making some progress, getting a little bit better each day. Having our good days and some bad days, but I'm saying we're starting to really put some good days together, and hopefully we'll continue to see that growth. I've just about got everybody's name down, which is a good thing. As you go through the new portal era, you're kind of a lot of times just getting used to a new team, trying to get everybody together, and especially with as many international players as we have. Alif was with the Turkish national team all summer, the national team, and then their under-20 team. Yevi got here about a few days into school. Laura was playing with her national team 3x3. So we didn't necessarily have everybody here, but now we do, and really excited about things. So feel free to start with some questions. And yes, back left.
Jeff, where do things stand with the opener? And if you guys have to reschedule or move, what do you know when the cutoff is?
The wine opener, or which that's up in the office? Oh, the first game of the year opener. I'm sorry.
Germany.
Yeah, we're waiting to hear. Feel pretty confident that we're not going to be going to Germany. But at the same time, 100% sure we will play the game. It's just a matter of where. So we should hopefully hear something in the next, hopefully, few hours. But very encouraged, and obviously looking forward to the opportunity. Discouraged that our elected officials couldn't figure out a way to, it's been, I think, a month now, or over a month, to kind of get our country back up and running, but nothing surprising these days.
If you do have to pivot,
I thought you were going to want me to get into some political rant, but I won't.
No. If you do have a pivot, is it good to have that relationship that you do with Geno to be able to make something work?
Well, I mean, it's. I don't think it's going to be our call to where things go. So of course it makes it easy, but I think both of us are just kind of waiting to be told, here's where the game's going to be played, make sure you're there. But it's going, ESPN's been great. ESPN's been nothing but first class. I feel bad for Courtney. She had arranged some great things for us in Germany, had done a ton of legwork to make sure this was going to be a great experience, not only a really, really good basketball game, but just a great experience overall. And that's what we try to do when we go on trips, even if it's a one-day road game. You're trying to make sure you let these players get the opportunity to experience the city you're in, the campus you might be going to visit. And she put a lot of work into it. So we will pivot, and just when they tell us where, we'll make sure we're all set to go.
Jeff, I know that uniting your team early with these trips matters a lot to you, and you've done it the past few years. So is there a route that you could take, even if it is more local, to be able to get these girls together early in the year, considering that you really haven't had your team together until this point?
Oh, no, it's been really good. Our team now we've been 3.5 weeks where, that last week of September, we've been going at it real hard. They're in a good place. They were just, I'm sure, as UConn's players were as well, and staff, everybody was just really excited about this trip. We're really looking forward to being a part of a game on an Air Force base in Germany. And now we'll just pivot. We'll pivot and make it work.
What does this team chemistry look like right here from, I guess, your perspective, how they have come together in these 3 weeks?
They're all trying to get to know each other, how they respond to who likes to be talked to in what manner, especially when you're on the court in the heat of a practice, of a game, trying to get to know where each other like the basketball. If I'm a driver and I like to go right, make sure I'm not cutting in on top of me as I'm making my move. So they're all really doing a good job of that. They're getting a feel for what we're trying to do as a team, and I'm seeing a lot of progress. We're going to have to, have some returners step up like you do each year. But Jada's a huge loss, obviously, with the way she could score the basketball. Olivia with the way she rebounded the ball. Jalea was a great ball stopper. Riss could come in and knock shots down for us. So, as I say, every year there's somebody that wants more. I wish I would have had the opportunity to play more. Now it's come. So now you've got to be prepared for it, and you've got to perform.
Jeff, you mentioned from a basketball standpoint of having a lot of players getting to know each other, but I think you've got 4 of the 7 continents represented on this team. Just, I guess, how does that factor into just those cultural differences and that kind of getting to know each other from that perspective?
It's basketball brings everyone together. I mean, I used to laugh with Norika all the time. Because I'd be like, Norika, I really want to learn some Japanese. Like, how do you say screen in Japanese? And she'd be like, screen. I'm like, bilingual. It's not that hard. So there's a lot of terminology that's the same. But what's been fun, and I'm trying to encourage them to do, is get to know each other. What it was like in their hometown, their country. We're even working, with being able to get everything online these days. We're trying to do a better job of making sure we get some food from the countries that the kids are from, so they have a little taste of home. Because, here in the States, it's fast food and more fast food, and it's all got preservatives in it, and I can't say it's the best for you, where a lot of these kids are coming from countries where it's a lot of home cooked meals. It's a lot of fresh food. So we're trying to do our best with that. And then we are doing a really good job, I think, of making sure that they're sharing, because everyone has a story. It's pretty unique when you really get down and you start talking to them of what their family's like and, what their parents do. And it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Coach, you met the ACC. Taj said coming into year 2, she wanted to try to become more of a vocal leader. Are you seeing that from her as you guys are trying to come together more as a unit?
Yeah, Taj has done some good things. I've seen some growth. Obviously she has more, and it's one of the things I'm challenging her on is, how can you impact a practice? How can you impact and be dominant every day, even if you don't score the ball? And that's where we're trying to find who's going to be our leader even when things don't go well for them. It's easier said than done. Obviously it's easy to lead. It's easy to be upbeat and excited when the ball's going in the basket or you're playing well. But if you're not scoring the ball, you're having a tough day, can you still bring the energy to pick your teammates up? So that's something I've challenged Taj with. Amari, a lot of our returners, and then Laura, she comes in from St. Joe's, where she obviously had a great career, and she had that role. So she's been able to do a really nice job of coming in and helping us. So it's been really, really good. All right, young man in the back row. I think your sweatshirt's terrible. I think your well, if you wear that sweatshirt, you probably shouldn't get called on. It's that bad baseball team down the road, isn't it? The Braves? Yeah. I know who it is.
No, Coach, you got to just touch on a little bit. You brought up O and you brought up Riss, and then how much is Laura going to be relied upon to kind of fill that void, and how have you seen her grow this offseason with your program so far?
Yeah. Hey, CL, did you get up my text? Everybody was waving to you. I wanted to make sure. They all missed you. Laura's been fantastic. Aleph has also been doing a really nice job. She had a great summer. Laura had a really good summer playing internationally. Those are two that have the experience, even though Laura's been obviously more impactful her 3 years at St. Joe's, more playing time, scoring and rebounding. Aleph right now, I think, is really coming into her own, and I think this summer really, really helped her. And they're both going to be very, very important for us. We're going to need them to be able to rebound the basketball. They can both pass the ball, score it. So really excited about that. And Yevi has really come in here the past month, and she's shown her toughness. She's an elite passer as well. Can handle the ball off of a rebound, and just has a lot of fight to her. That's what I love about her. She is someone who's not going to back down from anyone out there. And then, you've got Isla. We have a nice group, and now it's going to come down to being able to step out there during the game and perform.
Jeff, you mentioned, going back to the foreign connections, when you started doing USA basketball, is that when you kind of thought, okay, maybe we can bring some of these kids over? Norika was really the first, I guess, Jacine, but she was a transfer when you had her. But if Norika hadn't been successful, would you have done more? And then how much has USA basketball kind of played into the fact that you wanted to bring more over here?
Reek was someone that we just saw on film. I mean, we had a film came across my desk, and I was like, man, she's pretty good. And that's really how that all came about. The international experience coaching with USA basketball in Turkey have both been really good. And I think now with what's going on with college athletics, I think you're seeing a lot more people going overseas now because kids are more willing to come. In the past, they're signing professional deals and staying home because they can make money. Now there is the opportunity to make money and go to school and play here in the States. So I think that the doors have been opened more, and I think that's why you see a lot of us now also looking internationally, because they also have some more experience. We're obviously going to recruit here, try and get our local kids, and then we're going to broaden out and look everywhere we can.
Speaking of your local, how can you just talk about the two freshmen and how they've kind of transitioned?
You know what? Grace has been working extremely hard. She just had to go in and get some things cleaned up with her knee. So she's 6 to 8 weeks now, but she's been working hard on skill development, working hard in the weight room, and we'll see how that progresses with her. Great size, can shoot the basketball, can handle it. Really looking forward to getting her back on the floor when we can. We're not going to rush it. We're going to make sure she's healthy. And then I think everyone will see why I was so excited. Peyton is a kid that I think has a chance to be a good college basketball player. She's just learning now the amount of work that has to go into it. She shot the three extremely well in high school. Has not shot it great since she's been here. I asked her yesterday, how many threes are you making a day? And she said between 25 and 50. I was a little dumbfounded, and I said, well, we might want to 10 times that. So I'm waiting today to hear the number. But again, it's all new for her. School, the school load, just everything. And she's a great kid. I can challenge her. I can get on her. She does understand the game. But for her to be on the floor, I've told her, you've got to be able to knock down open shots for us. When it comes inside out and you're open, you've got to be able to make it. So really looking forward to seeing what she's able to do. Reagan Bender as well is one. She redshirted last year. And she's one that I've talked about too, about, I want you to have the confidence to step up and knock down open shots. The unique thing about all of them is there's so many people that are around them, that in their circle, that talk to him about you want to be an all-around player. You want to be, able to do everything well. And then I challenge him and I say, well, then you're going to be average with everything. So there's nothing wrong. It's like coaching. I just had this talk with one of my assistants, and we were talking, and it was like, well, I want to be good at everything involved in coaching. I go, well, that you're probably going to be bad. What are you really good at? Is it recruiting? Is it player development, building relationships? And then you're going to one day, when you hopefully become a head coach, hire people around you that are better than you are at the things you need help with. Don't try to be great at everything. You can't. So if you're supposed to knock down threes, knock down threes. And then I'm going to work on a pull-up jump shot. It doesn't mean I'm going to work on getting to the rim. So those are the things I'm trying to make sure our team understands, is you're not going to be great at everything, but let's figure out what are you going to be really darn good at, and then let's make sure that's a problem for whoever we play.
Jeff, do you have a returner that really was not a part of the rotation much last year that you expect much more out of this year? Do you have a feel for that right now?
I think McKinley Randolph, if we can keep Mac healthy, she had her foot issue last year. She was in a boot. I mean, she really only played in games for the last month. So if we weren't playing in the game, she'd have a boot on. So you give that kid the opportunity to be in practice, continue to develop and grow. She's got a really high basketball IQ. She's shooting the ball well. She can finish. She's a rebounder. I'm excited to see what she can do for us. I'm expecting Amari to take the next step. She's in better shape. I've been very impressed with her. Now I've got to get her to want to have the mindset and the mentality of dominating every day at practice. And again, that doesn't mean you're scoring 20 points, but she has a knack for the ball. She can rebound it. She gets steals. You just can't take a 10-minute stretch off and then think it's a good day of practice. So I'm challenging Amari with that. We've talked about Taj and the importance of her. And it's going to be for all of them. Like Taj and Amari also benefited from Jada last year. So now Jada's not out there. So now the best defender possibly is going to be guarding you, Taj. It was Jada. So how do you handle that? And I think that's going to be a little bit of the learning curve that we'll get the first a few weeks of the season.
I know you talked about Taj, but from her vocal leadership, has she grown in that aspect? And what do you want to see from her, I guess, on that side of her game?
Yeah, she has. I mean, that's one of the things that we've talked about. Everything's not always going to be great. So when there's adversity, you've got to be able to handle it and handle it in a positive way. If you want to be that player that everyone is looking up to and is like, hey, she's our go-to, then you got to be that go-to even when things aren't going great. And that's where we're challenging all of them. But she's one that I've seen growth from, but I know she has more in her.
Jeff, what's the level of preparedness for the international players compared to, say, a transfer and a true freshman coming from high school?
Yeah, I think a lot of it just depends on where they played. The quickness here in the States, the athleticism is normally higher than some of what our international players have faced. So it does take them a little bit of time of getting adjusted to that. The passing, the skill, they're as skilled, if not more. So I think a lot of it depends on where they've been playing. And now, you can be playing at a high professional level and still have the chance to come to the States, where in the past, normally you were looking at a kid that played on the U16, U18 team, and now we're looking at kids that are U20 national team. So even for E, this summer, she didn't play a ton on the national team for Turkey, but she got to practice every single day against them. And she also got to see how professionals work. And I can't even put a price tag on that. And I think that's why she's been performing the way she has so far at practice.
Jeff, you mentioned obviously finding coaches that have the strengths where you're weak. Adding Brittany as an assistant coach. What do you feel like she adds, and where's her strength lies as an assistant coach?
Yeah, Britt's been great. She has a great personality, great work ethic. I think she's really good at building relationships with players. Recruiting is something she enjoys doing, and that you have to enjoy it. So I think she's going to be a great addition on that side of things. And coming from a program that NC State where they've won. They won at a high level. Wes is a good friend of mine. It's nice to get ideas from others. And she's able to come in here. She has a fresh set of eyes to be able to say, I think if we tweak this, if we did this, here's what worked for us, at NC State, and see if we can't take part of that and mold it into what we do. So I'm really excited. I think she's enjoying it. And she also does a really nice job on the court as well.
Coach, last year you had Jalea, who was probably your best on-ball defender. Have you seen any of that tenacious defensively ability from any of the players out here so far?
Reyna's the one that can when she wants, and she's going to need to want a lot more. I've challenged her with that. She's got to be able to make a mark for us at the defensive end. She's got to want to pick the ball up. And it's not that she has to get steals every time down the floor, but she's got to be able to disrupt things for us, slow it up, so everyone else can get back. I challenge her to put her stamp on things. Get out there. If a point guard's trying to come up the right side, make her go up the left side. You dictate to them what you want them to do. Don't be the one that's reacting and they're dictating to us.
Kind of going back to CL's question about international versus transfer versus high school, when it comes to putting a roster together, recruiting, trying to win now, but also set yourself up for a good foundation for next year and the year after that and so on, what's your philosophy kind of there in terms of trying to figure out, is there an ideal split between those three different kinds of classifications on the roster? Or does it depend? No,
it's if you're trying to plan for the next 2 or 3 years, I'm not sure that's the smartest thing in the world. Just because you just don't know. You don't know who's staying, who's going. Obviously we're going to try to recruit freshmen first, and then we're going to then look at international kids who have 3-4 years, and then we use the portal and the transfers to fill needs. If we're looking at trying to sign, maybe 3-4 players. We've got two committed, and if we don't get the other 2, that's fine. Then we'll look in the transfer portal. So it's hard to say. I mean, it used to be where you could sit there and go, okay, Dana's a freshman. I got Jazz. I got Maisha for 2 more. Who's going to be the next? It's hard to do that because you've got to try to make sure you're giving them a great experience, and even when they do get a great experience, if somebody thinks they should be playing more, or grandma thinks that she should be getting more shots, they might leave, and you're allowed to do it, or they might get a call from their AAU coach that says, "Hey, so and so's offering more money." There's many reasons, and a lot of the times it's not what any of y'all think. A lot of times it has nothing to do with basketball. And that's just part of it. So obviously we look at things trying to hope. I was thrilled to have as many return as we had returned. I thought we returned our core, ones that I could count on day in and day out. We put a good group around them, excited about that. Now, we're going to come out here to win, and then come March, April, I'll try to figure out what we have to get. Are we going to lose 1, 2, 3, none, and go from there? But it's all changed. But it's part of it. You just have to adapt.
Jeff, you just mentioned Dana obviously winning 2 WNBA championships in her first 5 seasons, which is pretty impressive. I mean, how excited are you, especially just knowing her story, coming from Gary, Indiana, to get where she is? How excited are you for where she is in her career.
I'm thrilled for her. She's such a good person, not just a great basketball player, but a really good person. Nothing surprises me with that kid. She's got a huge heart. She's a competitor. She works on her craft. I mean, she's in the gym. I can remember COVID when, you could have one player at one end, one at the other. We have to Lysol down the basketballs. You Lysol the backboards, the goal. I mean, it was all crazy, but she was in here every day she was allowed to be in here. She was in here. And she just loves to play. And then I admire the fact how she carries herself. She's first class. Just, she's somebody that, when my kids are watching, it's fun to be like, yeah, she played here at Louisville. Our kids know who Dana is, and I appreciate about that. I appreciate that she's a great basketball player and also a great role model. And then really excited for her to be getting the keys to the city of Gary. So I think that's October 30th. What a wonderful event for her. I'm hoping to possibly be able to make it up and be a part of that and watch her.
Jeff, you mentioned Reyna defensively, but offensively, does she have any kind of similarities to a Jada?
No. I mean, Jada was a scorer. I mean, she was a three-point shooter, knocked down. Reyna can shoot it. Reyna's more powerful. Reyna's going to get to the basket, try to finish around the rim, where Jada just got all mad at me, and I wasn't even at the coaching her in Turkey because she tried to take a charge, and the girl landed on her ankle, and she was cussing me. I'm going, I knew I shouldn't have ever listened to him on trying to take a charge in a game. So she missed a few games because of that. But Reyna's the one that, with her physicality and her strength, she's going to have to help us with that. Where Jada was, come off a ball screen, give her a little space, and she can knock down a shot from anywhere. So just two completely different types of players, but both good.
At the luncheon, you got into a little bit just talking about toughness and playing hard and that kind of being the stamp of the program for a long time, and hoping you got more back to that. Not that you got away from it, but is this a team that's made up in a way that they can do that?
I think so. We've actually taken more charges the past 3 days than we had the past month, because we've been just trying to harp on it about understanding you can't always try to avoid the contact, embrace it. It's the way games can be changed. If you're willing to sit in there and take a charge, the crowd gets excited, your teammates get excited. Loose balls, we have to be diving on the floor after them. We can't be just bending over. And then rebounding. We've got to show the physicality rebounding the basketball. Now, we're sitting here with our scout guys and playing against each other. We'll have a scrimmage again on Sunday of this week, which will be good for us to see the progress we've made from 2 weeks ago. But if we want to win at the level we're used to winning at, then we're going to have that toughness.
How hard is it? It used to kind of be built in a little bit because you brought back players that had that mentality and they weren't going to let new players not do it. You have some players back, but how hard is it with so many new people? Every once in a while you get an Emily Inkster or something, but unless you get that.
I love him. Oh, yeah. No, it's hard. You're trying to change some things from some kids where they might not have had that physicality or the toughness, and you're trying to instill it in them. And it's different how we coach too. More pat on the back and try to make sure you're encouraging them. Where 17, 18 years ago, I mean, boy, I've gotten softer, as my players that come back now would say. But we're just trying to toughen them up. I mean, you look at some of our teams, our 09, our 13 team. I mean, we had some talent, but I'm not sure anybody thought we'd be playing in a national championship games. But because we were tough, loose ball, we're diving after it. And when you start advancing and getting places, those games come down to one possession here, one possession there. And you've got to make sure you're doing everything you can to dictate them. And that's what I'm hoping we're getting back to at this point in time. We've got to learn when you get up 8-10, it's got to be we're up 20. It can't be you take the foot off the gas, you're excited, you relax. And that's where we had been for the past 2 years. Instead of putting people away, we would do something foolish, and then it will lead to an and one, or then it would lead to a 3. And the next thing you know, instead of being up 21, you're up 9. And now you've given them all the confidence they want, and now you've got a game on your hands.
Jeff, kind of going off of that in terms of the acclimation, it's been a while since you've had exhibition games, but with the past 2 years having top 2, 5, 10 opponents pretty early, is that something maybe you've thought about?
No. No, I mean, we're playing quality people in our scrimmages, and we're playing them like a game. It's just we're just not opening the doors and selling hot dogs and soda and Surfside and High Noons and vodka tonics and bourbons and all that good stuff that CL likes, So we're getting that experience. We're just, we played top 10 UCLA last year on the road. Now it's UConn. So we're jumping in early. And again, it doesn't dictate or mean how the year's going to go. I mean, UCLA, that was a great game. We end up getting beat by 7, but it's a 2-possession game with about 4 minutes left, and that's a team that goes to the Final Four. And we played it without Jada. So, sure, it tells you a little bit about your team, but it's not going to be the final answer to what we're going to have.
Jeff, you mentioned the level of success and the level of expectations that are here. As much as things change and around you and all that, that's not going to change with you, is it ever?
No, our expectations are to get back to competing for Sweet 16s. And then, as I've always said, once you get to there, anything can happen. Whatever, this is 3 years away from an Elite 8. It's not like it's been 20 years. But we had gotten to a point where everybody was like expecting it every single year, which is a good thing. It's what you want. And now we've got to continue to put that work in to make sure we're giving our kids everything they need so we can get back to that. It's fun. All right. Oh, yes, sir.
I know this won't affect the women's game as much as the men's game, but the basketball world is talking about the G League players coming to the college ranks. What's your comment on that?
Well, no, it impacts our game too, because you've got international kids. So you've got players that are playing at the highest level of the Turkish Pro League, which is the best women's professional league in the world, that now, since the doors are opened, it's like, okay, so I can now go after and look at a kid who might be 2 years removed from high school, but's been getting paid well playing in those pro leagues. And that's what we're trying to figure out now to make sure, hey, is that open for us now? And if it is, it's going to be some game changers. Because in the past, again, if you graduate high school and you're an elite player in Europe, maybe you could go make $10,000 a month during your season. So, you're not getting paid $10,000 in June and July and August when there's no season going on. So you're looking at maybe $80,000, $90,000. Well, now all of a sudden, we might be able to offer the kid $150,000. Somebody else might offer him $300,000. So I think there's possibilities that it could open up a whole bunch. And it's interesting. There's no question about it. It's a shame that one around when I was here, I would have declared to go early. If I would have known I could have come back and played at Northern, I would have tried out for the G League. Only makes sense. You all laugh, but you haven't seen my footage.
Just because it can be done, though, should it be done?
Oh, hey, you just play. You play by the rules. I mean, everything's changing every single day, every hour on the hour. We're all trying to figure this all out too. You know, it's the frustrating thing about it, just college athletics. The reason our rule book is this thick is because people keep finding ways to play within the rules, but to change them. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well now you can't, when I take a kid to a football game, they can't be in the suite. You know, because years ago, somebody'd be like, well, hey, I'm going to put him in a suite. People used to fly kids in on official visits on private jets. Well, then that got banned because not everybody could do it. And then they would be like, okay, well, we'll just get him a first-class seat. Well, now that you can't do that. We've got to get permission to give him extra leg room. You know, so it's just, you just play by the rules, and they'll just keep telling us where the goalposts move to. Oh yeah, I mean it's hey, if you get it, go for it. I mean we're looking at a bunch of international kids. Yeah, we sure are. No, before then. I mean we've been, and now it's not as big of a deal if they've been paid. See, in the past, a kid could go play on a professional team, but they could only receive financial payment for necessary expenses. So they could get paid from the club for shoes, you know, for travel to and from, but they weren't able to get a salary. Well, now it doesn't matter. You can get a salary because we're paying them. So now you're just trying to figure out how long have they been out of high school. Is it 1 year? Has it been 2 years? Has it been 3? Which then will have impact on how many years they'd have with us. Yeah. Everybody good? Mic off or not? Not yet. We'll see. Let's see y'all shut it off from the back.